Okay, so let's finish the last part of chemistry chapter 3 water, and to begin with we'll address the doubts of exercise 3b in the beginning of this lecture and then move ahead with the third part. So the first doubt from exercise 3b is question number 4. Let's read the question and then try to understand what they want. If you are given some copper sulfate crystals, how would you proceed to prepare its saturated solution at room temperature? Give practical details. How can you show that your solution is really saturated? Okay, so for preparing a saturated solution of copper sulfate crystals at room temperature, what you would do is you will take a certain amount of water in a beaker, right? You have to prepare saturated solution. So you will take a certain amount of water in beaker and keep on dissolving copper sulfate crystals in it till no more crystals can be dissolved at given room temperature. So you will constantly stir and keep on dissolving the crystals of copper sulfate in that particular water or solution and at room temperature and till no more crystals of copper sulfate can be dissolved further. And when the point reaches where no more copper sulfate can be dissolved further, you will be having your saturated solution of copper sulfate crystals in water at room temperature. How can you show that your solution is really saturated? See, it's very easy. If you see that no more copper sulfate crystals can be dissolved in this particular solution, that means if you add few more crystals of copper sulfate, it remains undissolved and it settles at the bottom of that particular beaker or container, then it is proved that no more copper sulfate is able to dissolve in the solution and this solution is really saturated, right? So I hope you have understood how to make saturated solution of copper sulfate. It is just by adding more and more copper sulfate in a container of water without heating it and constantly stirring it till no more of copper sulfate dissolves in it. Sixth question. What would you observe when crystals of copper sulfate and iron sulfate are separately heated in two test tubes? Okay, see, crystals of copper sulfate are blue in color. Crystals of iron sulfate are green in color. If you heat them separately in two different test tubes, they will both lose the water of crystallization and they will both get converted into their amorphous form. Amorphous form means anhydrous form. Anhydrous form means they will become dry, they will lose their water of crystallization, which will result in losing their color. So copper sulfate crystals and iron sulfate crystal respectively become white or colorless, and their crystalline form, their crystalline structure also disappears and they become white colored powder because of the loss of water of crystallization. So that is the answer of sixth one. I hope that's not a problem because I'm just dictating the answer to you. So if you want, you can pause the video or you can re-watch the video, pause it in between and note your answer, right? Ninth question. Solubility of sodium chloride at 40 degrees Celsius is 36.5 grams. What is meant by this statement? So this statement means that in 100 grams of water, in 100 grams of water at 40 degrees Celsius, 36.5 grams of sodium chloride can be dissolved. Maximum of 36.5 grams of sodium chloride can be dissolved in 100 grams of water at 40 degrees Celsius. That is the meaning of this statement. Question number 11th, the next doubt. What is the effect of pressure on solubility of gases? Explain with an example. See, with pressure, with increase in pressure, the solubility of gases increases. If you want an example, you can take example of soda water. So what is soda water? Soda water is nothing but carbon dioxide dissolved in water. But this water is basically kept pressurized in a bottle, in a container. So if this uh, you can say the cap of the container is released, it is open, all the carbon dioxide which is already dissolved, it comes out and you can see effervescence or fizz. It comes out with a fizz. Why does it come out with a fizz? Why does the uh, you can say carbon dioxide which was already dissolved in water escapes out without waiting on opening the cap? Because on opening the cap, the pressure which is built on that liquid is released, and since the pressure is released, the solubility of gases decreases, right? If the pressure decreases, solubility of gases also decreases, and we can say that if the solubility of gases decreases, then all that carbon dioxide which was dissolved under pressure releases once you open the cap of soda bottle, which is tightly bottled, actually tightly capped. So on increasing pressure, solubility of gases increases, and on decreasing pressure, solubility of gases decreases in any liquid. With an example, I have proved that. Question number 13th, first one. Water is an excellent liquid to use in cooling system. I'm going to write this answer for you because this is not particularly, you can say, given in this part, but it is very important. Also, you should remember it. So question number 13, part A. Water is an excellent coolant. Coolant means which removes or absorbs heat from other substances, since it has a very high specific heat capacity. Water has a very high specific heat capacity. ये तुमने 8th स्टैंडर्ड में पढ़ा है. That means water can absorb a huge amount of heat from its surroundings in order to raise its temperature by 1 degree Celsius. In order to raise the temperature of water by 1 degree Celsius, it will absorb a lot of heat from its surrounding, and it will make its surrounding cooler. And that's why water is an excellent coolant. It is used in cooling systems because of its very high specific heat capacity. Okay, so that is the reason. Actually, this is the question of physics का question है ये, but we can't say that. अभी water chapter है chemistry में, तो ये valid question है मेरे हिसाब से, तो ये valid question है, definitely पूछा जाना चाहिए. बट फिर भी ठीक है, कुछ लोगों को लगता होगा कि नहीं है ये वैलिड. ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. क्वेश्चन नंबर 21, द नेक्स्ट डाउट. सो जो भी डाउट्स अभी तक मुझे पूछे हैं, मैं वही सॉल्व कर रहा हूँ, बिकॉज दैट्स द फर्स्ट स्टेप फॉर मी. कि होमवर्क दिया, होमवर्क टाइम पे सबमिट करो, डाउट पूछो, मैं सॉल्व करूंगा, फिर हम आगे बढ़ेंगे. अभी तक बहुत बच्चों ने सबमिट नहीं किया है मुझे होमवर्क, एंड दैट इज़ रियली सैड. सो इट्स ओके, मुझे आगे बढ़ना पड़ेगा सबके लिए. मैं किसी के लिए रुक नहीं सकता हूँ, बिकॉज वी हैव लिमिटेड टाइम. सो अगर डेडलाइन क्रॉस हो चुकी है और अभी भी तुमने होमवर्क नहीं दिया है, so that means you are late and then your doubts are not going to be solved. So you have to adjust with the doubts which I have already solved. अगर आपके डाउट्स इसमें से है तो ये आपको हेल्प करेगा. अगर आपके कोई एक्स्ट्रा डाउट्स भी है तो आपको रुकना पड़ेगा, वो अभी फिलहाल तो सॉल्व नहीं हो पाएंगे. अभी नाउ इट इज टाइम टू मूव अहेड विद द चैप्टर. गोइंग ऑन विद द नेक्स्ट डाउट, क्वेश्चन नंबर 21. What is the question? Let's see. Find the solubility of potassium nitrate at 20 degrees Celsius when the mass of empty dish is 50 grams. Okay. Question number 21, part A. Mass of dish is equal to 50 grams. Mass and solution, mass, एक minute, when mass of 50 grams, mass of empty dish is 50 grams, mass of dish and solution is 65 grams. Mass of dish plus solution is equal to 65 grams. Therefore, can you tell me what will be mass of solution? Very easy. Mass of solution will be 15 grams, 65 minus 50. Okay? And what else is given? While the mass of dish and residue is 54.3 grams. Mass of dish plus residue. Now residue means there is no water in it, right? Mass of dish and residue is 54.3 grams. Therefore, what will be mass of residue? Mass of residue will be 54.3 grams minus 50 grams. That is 4.3 grams. That is 4.3 grams, right? So we can say that mass of dish is 50 grams, mass of dish in solution is 65 grams, mass of solution is 15 grams, mass of dish plus residue is 54.3 grams, and that gives the mass of residue as 4.3 grams. Okay, so the main component over here is the dish, which is making all the confusions. We have to find the solubility. Okay, so solubility, the formula for solubility is mass of solute upon mass of solution multiplied by 100. Mass of solute upon mass of solution multiplied by 100. I'll just check this formula just to verify that I'm correct, because I could be wrong. Who knows? Let's check solubility. Mass of solute upon mass of solvent into 100. So I was wrong. It is mass of solute upon mass of solvent, not solution. Okay. Oops. Just came all the way down. Solvent. Okay. Let's check again. So this is going to change. This is not solution. This is solvent. Okay. Now we'll remember the formula. So what is mass of solute? See here we have found the mass of residue. Now that residue is nothing but the solute. So mass of residue is 4.3 grams upon what is mass of solvent. See, we know the mass of solution, so we can find the mass of solvent. Okay, let's write it here. Mass of solvent is equal to mass of solution, that is 15 grams, minus mass of solute, that is 4.3 grams. So 15 minus 4 is 11. 11 minus 0.3 is 10.7 grams. So we found the mass of solvent, which is 10.7 grams. Okay, so multiplied by 100, right? Let's solve this. This will be 430 upon 10.7, or 4300 upon 107. We just have to divide and get the answer. Let's divide it and get the answer. So we have got 4300 divided by 107, which is 40.19 grams. 40.19 grams. 40.19 grams. Let's check if the answer is correct. The solubility 40.18 they are saying. They have not rounded off. I've rounded off, so Absolutely correct. I don't see any problem with it. Okay, so we got this answer. Let's check the next question, which is the B part of question number 21. Okay, so the B part, what does it say? What weight of sodium nitrate will separate? What weight of sodium nitrate will separate? Okay, so mass of solute they are asking. Okay, sodium nitrate is a salt, which is a solute. Mass of solute they are asking. When a saturated solution containing 50 grams of water, acha, so mass of solvent is given, is equal to 50 grams, is cooled from 50 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this solution is cooled from 50 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. The solubility of sodium nitrate at 50 degrees Celsius and 30 degrees Celsius is 114 grams and 86 grams respectively. Okay. So we know one thing, that the solubility of sodium nitrate at 50 degree and 30 degrees Celsius is given to us. We don't know. Okay, I think we can try this. This looks easy. Okay, now I think I've got it. Let me explain you. So see, we know that if sodium nitrate solution is cooled, if sodium nitrate solution is cooled from 50 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius, the solubility decreases from 114 grams to 86 grams. Okay? So we can write that decrease in solubility of sodium nitrate in 100 grams of its solution from 50 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius is equal to, what is the degrees in solubility? It is 114 grams minus 86 grams. 114 grams minus 86 grams. So, 114 minus 86. Let's calculate this. 114 minus 86. So this will be 14. This will be basically 10. Okay, 14 minus 6 is 8 to 28. Correct. 106 plus 8, what? Perfect, it is 28 grams. So what is happening? In 100 grams of sodium nitrate solution, if you take 100 gram of sodium nitrate solution at 50 degrees Celsius, and if you cool it to 30 degrees Celsius, 28 grams of sodium nitrate will be separating out. Okay, from 100 gram of its solution, you can say 28 grams will be separating out if you change the temperature from 50 to 30 degrees Celsius. But I have just 50 grams of solvent. I think this should be 100 grams of solvent. Okay, so let me change that part also. Solvent. Yeah. So I have just 50 grams of solvent. So if in 100 grams of solvent, the solubility decreases on changing temperature by 28 grams, in 50 grams of solvent, the solubility will change by how many grams? So that is your unitary method. So this is 100 grams, that is solvent, and you can write here decrease in solubility, which is 28 grams, in 50 grams of solvent, decrease in solubility will be how much? That is 50 multiplied by 28 upon 100, which is basically 14 grams. The solubility will decrease by 14 grams. The solubility will decrease by 14 grams. Okay, so this is basically your question number 21A and B part. I hope that the rest of you were able to do, who did not ask me any doubt. There are many students like that who did not ask me a single doubt. They were able to do the rest of the questions by themselves. If you have any doubts, just look at these doubts and try to figure out whether you've done it correct or not. And if you have any other doubts, just let me know. Okay, so moving on to the third part, soft and hard water. So what is the soft and hard water? See, it is not about like if we touch them, one water is soft, we can put our hands inside or you can swim into it, and the other water is hard like stone, and if you touch it, you will not be able to penetrate it. It's not like that. Okay. Soft water readily forms lather with soap. You know what is lather? Lather को हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं? झाग, राइट? तो सॉफ्ट वाटर अगर सॉफ्ट रहेगा, वो इजीली लैदर बनाएगा, बबल्स बनाएगा सोप के साथ. लैदर क्या क्या इंपॉर्टेंस है, लैदर बनना जरूरी क्यों है? सी, सोप का जो क्लिनजिंग एक्शन होता है, दैट इज एनहांस्ड बाय द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ लैदर. लैदर फॉर्मेशन ये क्लिनजिंग एक्शन को इंप्रूव करता है, एनहांस करता है. तो लैदर अगर नहीं बनेगा तो इसका मतलब क्या है? क्लिनजिंग ठीक से नहीं होगा. ठीक है. सो प्योर वाटर और वाटर कंटेनिंग सोडियम सॉल्ट्स इजीली गिव्स लैदर विथ सोप. सच वाटर सैंपल इज नोन एज सॉफ्ट वाटर. जो भी वाटर तुम्हारा प्योर वाटर होता है या फिर उसमें सिर्फ सोडियम के सॉल्ट्स होते हैं, वो लैदर बनाता है. उसको यूज करना इजी है. यूज करना मतलब ड्रिंकिंग पर्पस के लिए वो अच्छा है, वॉशिंग पर्पस के लिए वो अच्छा है. तुम उससे यूटेंसिल्स वॉश कर सकते हो, तुम उससे फ्लोर क्लीन कर सकते हो, तुम उससे यू कैन क्लीन क्लोथ्स विथ इट. तुम कोई भी क्लिनजिंग पर्पस में सॉफ्ट वाटर का यूज कर सकते हो, बिकॉज उसमें कोई भी सोप सोल्यूशन अगर डालोगे तो वो लैदर बनाएगा एंड इट विल बी इजीली suitable for cleaning. Distilled water and rainwater are also soft water. Water is said to be hard when it does not readily form lather with soap. तो कुछ water के sample होते हैं, they are hard water. Hard water is basically the water which does not readily form lather with soap. सोप के साथ जो लेदर नहीं बनाता इंस्टेंटली, उसको हार्ड वाटर बोलते हैं. ये हार्डनेस का कॉजेस क्या है? पहले तो यहाँ पे डायग्राम दिया है, बहुत ब्यूटीफुल डायग्राम है, देख लो. यहाँ पे लिक्विड सोप को अगर रेन वाटर में डाला, क्योंकि वो सॉफ्ट वाटर है, तो वो क्या बनाता है? यहाँ पे लिखा है सर्ड्स. आई डोंट नो व्हाट इज अ सर्ड. आई हैव टू लुक इट अप ऑन गूगल. लेट मी चेक व्हाट इज अ सर्ड. सर्ड्स, SUDS meaning. Water impregnated with soap or synthetic detergent compound and worked up into a froth. Also the lather or froth on such water. अच्छा, तो सर्ड्स का मतलब लैदर या फोम होता है. ठीक है, लैदर या फिर फ्रॉथ होता है, उसको सर्ड्स बोलते हैं हम लोग. सो डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट वर्ड सर्ड्स. सर्ड्स मीन्स लैदर. ठीक है. लिक्विड सोप को जब लाइम वाटर में डालेंगे, विच इज बेसिकली हार्ड वाटर, इट फॉर्म्स वेरी लिटिल लैदर, वेरी लिटिल लैदर. तो इसका व्हाट इज द रीजन बिहाइंड दिस हार्डनेस? Waters of some springs, wells and rivers contain dissolved mineral matter. याद रखना, dissolved mineral matter. Dissolved mineral matter. If this happens to be the hydrogen carbonates, sulfates or chlorides of calcium and magnesium, the water gets hard. मतलब हाइड्रोजन कार्बोनेट्स ऑफ मैग्नीशियम, मतलब मैग्नीशियम हाइड्रोजन कार्बोनेट, मैग्नीशियम सल्फेट, मैग्नीशियम क्लोराइड, या फिर कैल्शियम हाइड्रोजन कार्बोनेट, कैल्शियम सल्फेट या कैल्शियम क्लोराइड। अगर ये मिनरल वाटर में डिजोल्व है तो वाटर बिकम्स हार्ड। Hard water contains bicarbonates, chlorides and sulfates of calcium and magnesium. When water flows over beds of limestone, ये अंडरग्राउंड डिपॉजिट्स होती है लाइमस्टोन की अर्थ के अंदर, अर्थ के क्रस्ट के अंदर। अगर वाटर उस पे से फ्लो होके कहीं पे इकट्ठा हो रहा है और फिर वहां पे तुम बोरवेल डग आउट करके एक वेल बनाते हो, वो वाटर वाटर को तुम जब यूज करोगे you will get hard water naturally. And डोलोमाइट, ये लाइमस्टोन और डोलोमाइट, कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट और मैग्नीशियम कार्बोनेट, उसके जो डिपॉजिट्स होते हैं अंडरग्राउंड, उसके ऊपर से जब ये पानी कांटेक्ट में आता है उसके साथ या उसके ऊपर से नीचे, देयर आर मेनी स्ट्रीम्स फ्लोइंग अंडरग्राउंड, अंडरग्राउंड रिवर्स होती है। तो ये अंडरग्राउंड रिवर्स जब बेड्स ऑफ लाइमस्टोन या डोलोमाइट के ऊपर से जब गुजरती है, तो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड slowly converts some of these into insoluble calcium and magnesium bicarbonates, which gets mixed with the water and makes it hard. The formation of uh, stalactites and stalagmites in caves is due to the same reason. Stalactites, इसको देखना पड़ेगा यार. Stalagmites. Let me look it up. Stalactite. Stalactite. Whoa! I have seen this. Haven't you? ये caves में ऐसा stalactites बनता है ना, stalactites या stalactites या stalagmite. That is due to this dissolved minerals basically. Oh, that is so beautiful, man. Just see. Now I know the word stalactites or stalactites or stalagmite. यहाँ पे बोला है the formation of stalactites and stalagmites in caves is due to the same reason, that is due to this insoluble uh, I'm sorry, this soluble calcium and magnesium bicarbonates which get mixed with water and make it hard. ठीक है, the formation of stalactites and stalagmites in caves is due to the same reason. उसके बारे में ही है नेक्स्ट टॉपिक. इन सम लाइमस्टोन केव्स ओवर समटाइम्स वन समटाइम्स सीज कोनिकल पिलर लाइक ऑब्जेक्ट्स हैंगिंग फ्रॉम द रूफ. अभी हमने फोटो देखा ऑफ द केव्स एंड सम राइजिंग फ्रॉम देयर फ्लोर्स. You want to see the photo again? See, some are rising from the floors also and some are hanging from the pillars. Can you see this? Beautiful, right? These are formed by water droppings from the cracks in the rocks containing dissolved calcium hydrogen carbonate. Release of pressure results in the conversion of some hydrogen carbonate to calcium carbonate. So calcium hydrogen carbonate gets decomposed into calcium carbonate plus carbon dioxide plus water. This calcium carbonate little by little gets deposited both on the roof and floor of the cave. द कोनिकल पिलर, ये देखो इसका फोटो भी ये लोग ने दिया है, बहुत ही घटिया वाला, गूगल से हमें बेटर फोटो मिल गया है. द कोनिकल पिलर विच ग्रोज डाउनवर्ड्स फ्रॉम द रूफ इज कॉल्ड स्टेलेसाइट and one which grows upward from the floor is called stalagmite. Stalactite, stalagmite. They meet after a time. Oh, in a year some grow less than even a centimeter, but some as tall as 100 centimeter. So calcium carbonate, which is insoluble, plus carbon dioxide plus water vapor gives calcium bicarbonate or calcium hydrogen carbonate, which is soluble. Magnesium carbonate plus carbon dioxide plus water gives magnesium hydrogen carbonate, which is soluble. If water flows over beds of gypsum, a little bit of gypsum gets dissolved in water and makes it hard. Okay, so that was a little bit extra knowledge about hard water, but very useful, yeah. Types of hardness: temporary and permanent hardness. So hardness of water is of two types: temporary hardness and permanent hardness. Water that contains only hydrogen carbonates of calcium and magnesium is called temporary hard water. So it is called temporary hard water because its hardness can be removed just by boiling. तो जिस वाटर में सिर्फ कैल्शियम और मैग्नीशियम के हाइड्रोजन कार्बोनेट्स होते हैं, इट कैन इजीली बी डीकम्पोज्ड ऑन बॉइलिंग. वो वाटर को बॉइल कर दो तो तुम्हें रेसिड्यू मिलेगा, दैट इज प्रेसिपिटेट ऑफ कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट और मैग्नीशियम कार्बोनेट प्लस वाटर प्लस कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड विल गेट इवॉल्व. The calcium ion and magnesium ions are thus removed from water by formation of insoluble calcium carbonate, and hence water becomes soft. Water containing sulfates and chlorides of magnesium and calcium is called permanent hard water, and this hard water cannot be removed by boiling. So sulfates and chlorides of magnesium and calcium cause the water to become permanently hard, and this hardness cannot be removed by boiling. Always remember that. The removing of temporary hardness of water by boiling, however, is not a practical method. It is costly and slow. So temporary hardness remove करने के लिए जब हम boil करेंगे water को, that is not a practical method. It is very costly and very slow. Advantage of hard water. Hard water containing some dissolved salts has the following advantage. Soft water free from dissolved salts has very flat taste. The presence of salts in hard water makes it tasty. Wow, आज मैंने tasty water पिया, मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा. Hard water is therefore used in the preparation of beverages and wines. That is interesting. Calcium and magnesium salts present in small amounts in hard water are essential for the growth of our bones and teeth. So hard water, that is your, the water from bore well, is actually good for your body. It gives that vital minerals required by your bones and your teeth, and it gives them growth. Hard water checks the poisoning of water by lead pipes. Hard water checks poisoning of water by lead pipes. When these pipes are used for carrying water, some lead salts dissolved in water to make it poisonous. Calcium sulfate present in hard water forms insoluble lead sulfate in the form of layer inside the lead pipe, and this checks the lead poisoning. एक बार समझ लो क्या बोला मैंने, थोड़ा फटाफट बोला है ये. कभी कभी लेड के जो पाइप्स होते हैं ना, ये पाइप में से वाटर हम लोग कैरी करते हैं, तो कुछ लेड के सॉल्ट्स ये वाटर में डिजोल्व हो जाते हैं और उसको पॉइजनस बना देते हैं. लेकिन अगर ये वाटर हार्ड वाटर है और इसमें कैल्शियम सल्फेट है, तो ये कैल्शियम सल्फेट लेड सॉल्ट्स के साथ उस मिक्स होके उसको लेड सल्फेट बना देता है, विच इज बेसिकली इनसोल्यूबल. तो अगर ये पॉइजनस सब्सटेंस इनसोल्यूबल है तो इसको इजीली फिल्टर आउट कर सकते हैं. तो ये सोल्यूबल फॉर्म होने से वाटर को पॉइजनस होने से और लेड के सॉल्ट्स को सोल्यूबल होने से रोकता है हार्ड वाटर. सो ये कुछ हार्ड वाटर के एडवांटेजेस थे जो इंपॉर्टेंट है, लेकिन इसके डिसएडवांटेजेस भी है. हार्ड वाटर इज नॉट सूटेबल फॉर प्रोड्यूसिंग स्टीम. स्टीम कहाँ पे बनता है? बॉयलर्स में बनता है, इवन तुम्हारे प्रेशर कुकर में बनता है. सो बॉयलर्स में नंबर ऑफ नैरो कॉपर ट्यूब सराउंडेड बाय फायर होते हैं. As the cold water enters these tubes, it is immediately changed into steam. When the dissolved solid incapable of changing into vapor gets deposited on the inner walls of the tubes, this goes on and thus making the bore of the tubes. Bore मतलब जो होल होता है ना, उसको नैरो बना देते हैं. दिख रहा है यहाँ पे वाइट सब्सटेंस, पूरा ट्यूब को जाम कर देता है, चोक कर देता है. Narrower and narrower, this results that less water flows through the tube at one time and less steam is produced. When bore of the tube becomes very narrow, the pressure of the steam increases so much that at times boiler itself bursts. पूरा boiler blast हो जाता है, and that is basically an accident and can actually cause a lot of damage. Not only that, the boiler scale formed inside the tube, being a bad conductor of heat, allows only a part of the outside heat to go in and convert the water into steam. This results in further loss of heat energy. To minimize this loss, boiler scale is removed from time to time. Boiler को clean किया जाना चाहिए using boiler compound, or else water is first softened and then used. मतलब हार्ड वाटर को अगर स्टीम में कन्वर्ट करने के लिए यूज करोगे तो इधर इट कैन कॉज अ ह्यूज accident by choking the pipes, or it can actually create deposits inside the boiler which can reduce the conductivity and cause several energy losses or heat losses. The furring of tea kettle is also caused by the sediment formed on its wall from boiling hard water. Furring of tea kettle. I'm going to show you a picture of that so that कभी आपने देखा होगा तो पता चल जाएगा. Furring of kettle. Yes, 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 yes. You must have seen कि केटल और ऐसे वेसल्स के अंदर जिसमें वाटर को बॉईल किया जाता है ऐसे डिपॉजिट्स हो जाते हैं. हैव यू सीन दिस? दिस इज नोन एज फरिंग ऑफ कैटल. सो ये डिपॉजिट्स क्यों होते हैं? डिपॉजिट्स इसलिए होते हैं बिकॉज जो वाटर है वो हार्ड वाटर है, और जैसे ही उसको बॉईल करोगे तो वो जो सेल्यूबल कैल्शियम सल्फेट्स है वो सारे डिपॉजिट हो जाएंगे तुम्हारे कॉपर के कॉइल के ऊपर, एंड इट विल कॉज फरिंग of this inner layer. Okay, and that is basically not healthy for your vessel because it kills the conductivity of the vessels. This fur is nothing but carbonates of calcium and magnesium. ठीक है, furring of kettle याद रखना है इसको. Hard water is also unit for washing purpose. Also unit for washing purpose क्या? Used for washing. ठीक है, देखते हैं. For washing purpose soap is invariably used. सोप के बिना वॉशिंग नहीं होता है. ठीक है, सोप इज अ केमिकली sodium salt of stearic acid, an organic acid which has this very unique formula C17H35COOH and has the formula of C17H35COONA. ये तुम्हारे सोप का फॉर्मूला है. दिस इज द केमिकल फॉर्मूला ऑफ सोप. तो घर पे जब सोप खत्म हो जाए तो मम्मी को ऐसा मत बोलो कि मम्मी एक सोप देना मुझे नहाना है. तुम बोलना मम्मी एक C17H35COONA देना. तो बहुत कूल लगेगा और तुम्हें सोप का केमिकल फॉर्मूला भी याद हो जाएगा. What a lame joke मैंने क्रैक किया है. Anyways, if the water is hard, the calcium and magnesium ions of water combine with the negative ions of the soap to form a slimy precipitate of insoluble calcium and magnesium, usually given the name of soap curd or scum. Usually given the name of soap curd or scum. Okay, तो ये क्या है? I'll show you the picture. Okay, don't worry about that. तो ये लोग क्या बोल रहे हैं कि जब वाटर हार्ड होता है और उसके साथ जब हम लोग सोप को यूज करते हैं तो एक स्लाइमी प्रेसिपिटेट बनता है. ठीक है, इनसोल्यूबल कैल्शियम एंड मैग्नीशियम का स्लाइमी प्रेसिपिटेट जिसको सोप कर्ड बोलते हैं या फिर स्कम बोलते हैं. ठीक है, अब ये जो केमिकल फॉर्मूला है इसको याद रखने की अभी कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है. ये हमारे सिलेबस का हिस्सा नहीं है फिलहाल. ठीक है, सो स्किप द स्मॉल लिटिल टाइनी पार्ट, बट एवरीथिंग else is important. We are concerned with the information which is extremely important here. The formation of soap curd will go on as long as there are calcium and magnesium ions present. Okay, let me check. Soap curd. So you must have observed this. Uh, this. You see this? See these deposits? What are these? These deposits are nothing but the soap curd or the hard water, the salts from hard water which are deposited on these walls. Soap curd, maybe this, yeah, possibly. Okay, So formation of soap curd will go on as long as there are calcium and magnesium ions present. Till then, no soap leather will be formed and cleaning of cloth or body will not be possible. तो ऐसा तुम्हें जब हार्ड वाटर कहाँ पे होता है, पहले तो हार्ड वाटर, सी इफ यू गो इन योर विलेज, योर नेटिव प्लेस, बेसिकली वहाँ पे बोरवेल से पानी यूज होता है. अगर तुम्हारा नेटिव प्लेस बहुत अच्छी जगह पे जहाँ पे पानी का बहुत सारा यू कैन से सप्लाई है, तो वहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. लेकिन इंटीरियर पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया में जहाँ पे वाटर सप्लाई का थोड़ा सा शॉर्टेज है, फॉर एग्जांपल नॉर्थ साइड में, राजस्थान, हरियाणा, गुजरात, दिल्ली, यहाँ पे जो बोरवेल का वाटर यूज होता है, बोरवेल के वाटर के साथ जब सोप को हम लोग ट्रीट करते हैं तो ऐसा नहाने के बाद भी ऐसा लगता है, चिपचिपा लगता है पूरा बॉडी. it doesn't feel clean because lather form ही नहीं होता, because of the hardness of water does not allow the lather to be formed. Moreover, these precipitates are also difficult to wash out from the fabrics, तो कपड़े भी ठीक से साफ नहीं होते, and sometimes form rusty spots on iron if iron salts are also present in the water. This difficulty has been solved to a great extent by using synthetic detergents. सिंथेटिक डिटर्जेंट मतलब तुम्हारा सर्फ, डीईटी मुझे नहीं पता क्या है, बट हे लेट्स गूगल इट मैन. मुझे नहीं पता वाला तो बोलना ही नहीं चाहिए. व्हाट इज डीईटी? डीईटी डिटर्जेंट, यस. Okay, so that's basically detergent only. DET is nothing but a detergent. ठीक है? Surf, DET are used in the place of soap in domestic and laundry work. These are made by sulfonating some higher alkanes or organic compounds with sulfuric acid and then converting them into their sodium salts by caustic soda. These sodium salts are called detergents, and detergents are more soluble in water than soap, and they are unaffected by hardness of water as their calcium salts are soluble in water. मतलब ये जो detergents होते हैं ये ज़्यादा इफेक्टिव है हार्ड वाटर में क्लीनिंग के लिए. तो यू नो नाउ तो सोप्स फॉर वॉशिंग क्लोथ्स आर हार्डली यूज्ड एनीवेयर. अब सब लोग डिटर्जेंट यूज करते हैं. इवन तुम्हारा जो यू कैन से योर यूटेंसिल्स के लिए जो प्रिल और वो सारे लिक्विड्स आते हैं, ठीक है, प्रिल या ऐसे टाइप के लिक्विड्स जो आते हैं, ये भी ये डिटर्जेंट से ही बने होते हैं. दे हार्डली यूज द नॉर्मल सोप. ओके, सो डिटर्जेंट ज्यादा सोल्यूबल है वाटर में और वो हार्डनेस ऑफ वाटर से अनअफेक्टेड रहता है. Cleansing action of soap and detergents. When soap or detergents is dissolved in water, the molecules gather as cluster called micelles. ठीक है, तो ये मॉलिक्यूल्स ऐसे माइसेल्स बना देते हैं, ये क्लस्टर है, और ये एक डर्ट पार्टिकल के ऊपर स्टिक हो जाते हैं और वो डर्ट पार्टिकल को क्लोथ से निकाल देते हैं. इन क्लिनजिंग द हाइड्रोकार्बन टेल अटैचेस इटसेल्फ टू द ऑयली डर्ट. व्हेन द वाटर इज स्टर्ड, जो तुम्हारे वॉशिंग मशीन में होता है, the oily dirt tends to lift off from the dirty surface and dissociates into fragments. This gives an opportunity to other tails to stick to the oil. The solution now contains small globules of oil surrounded by detergent molecules. The negatively charged heads present in the water prevents the small globules from coming together and form aggregates. So I'm going to show you this cleansing action of soap in water with the help of micelles by a video, and not here. I'm going to post it in your group so you can watch it. If you ask me, not very important, okay? But still you can watch it for your own knowledge. So only the oily dirt is removed from the object and the object becomes clean. Okay. सो ये तो सोप और डिटर्जेंट के बारे में था. अब हार्डनेस के ऊपर बात करते हैं, हाउ टू रिमूव द हार्डनेस. देखो अभी हमने बताया कि टेम्पररी हार्डनेस तो बॉइलिंग से निकल जाता है, क्योंकि कैल्शियम हाइड्रोजन कार्बोनेट या मैग्नीशियम हाइड्रोजन कार्बोनेट्स आर वाटर सोल्यूबल सॉल्ट्स, and when these salts are dissolved in water and you heat this water or boil the water, what happens is the calcium carbonate or magnesium carbonates precipitates, and water and carbon dioxide is left behind. Carbon dioxide is given off and you get water. So if you just filter this water out, तो तुम्हारे कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट और मैग्नीशियम कार्बोनेट रिमूव हो जाएंगे and the water will be soft. But when you have large quantities of water, this process is very expensive. So you can do one thing, Clark's process, addition of lime. You know what is lime? Calcium hydroxide. ठीक है, slaked lime. So basically you add a calculated amount of slaked lime into your hard water. What will it do? It will separate out the precipitate of magnesium and calcium carbonates, and your clean water will be, your soft water will be left behind. So lime is first thoroughly mixed with water in a tank and then fed to another tank containing hard water. Revolving paddles thoroughly mix the two solutions. Most of the calcium carbonate settles down. If there is any solid left over, it is removed by a filter, and the process goes by the name of Clark's process. दूसरा एक प्रोसेस है जिसमें वॉशिंग सोडा ऐड करते हैं हम. सो यू मस्ट बी अवेयर ऑफ वॉशिंग सोडा. वॉशिंग सोडा इज सोडियम कार्बोनेट. वॉशिंग सोडा और सोडा ऐश इज सोडियम कार्बोनेट. इसको जब हार्ड वाटर में डालते हैं तो इट क्रिएट्स insoluble precipitates of calcium and magnesium carbonates, and sodium hydrogen carbonate is left behind. ठीक है, this sodium hydrogen carbonate can further be simplified and we can obtain soft water. ओके, इससे ज़्यादा कुछ दिया नहीं है. सॉफ्ट आई एम सॉरी, पर टेम्पररी हार्डनेस निकालने के लिए सिर्फ इतना इंफॉर्मेशन दिया है. अभी परमानेंट हार्डनेस की बात की है. To remove permanent hardness of water, it is treated with equal quantity of soda ash. Again, soda ash. Soda ash क्या होता है? Your washing soda. ठीक है, सोडियम कार्बोनेट. तो तुम्हें अगर हार्डनेस रिमूव करनी है तो उसको उसमें इक्वल क्वांटिटी ऑफ वाटर की जितनी क्वांटिटी सोडा ऐश की लेनी है, एंड देन द फॉलोइंग रिएक्शन टेक्स प्लेस. कैल्शियम सल्फेट प्लस sodium carbonate. See, sodium carbonate is over here and they have written soda ash over here. Actually वो एक ही चीज है. Calcium sulfate is your compound which is causing the hardness. If you mix them, it gives you calcium carbonate, which is basically precipitate, and sodium sulfate, which is not harmful to boilers or clothing. Okay, so calcium chloride can also be softened in the same manner. Calcium chloride, if it's present in your water, it gives permanent hardness. You add washing soda in it, it gives you calcium carbonate, which is separated by filtering because it is a precipitate, and it will give you sodium chloride solution, which is not so harmful. If however some magnesium sulfate is also present in water, lime has also to be used besides soda ash. So lime, or you can say calcium hydroxide, it removes magnesium salts also. Magnesium hydroxides becomes you can say insoluble, and you can remove it with filtration along with calcium carbonate. Magnesium hydroxide is less soluble than magnesium carbonate. That's why we use this process. The above methods are suitable for domestic purpose only when a small amount of water has to be treated. तो तुम्हारे गांव में या तुम्हारे नेटिव प्लेस पे जो भी हार्ड वाटर को सॉफ्ट वाटर बनाते हैं, ऐसी कुछ प्रोसेसेस शायद वो लोग करते होंगे. आप पता लगा सकते हो. If hardness is both temporary and permanent, in such a case, particularly when large amounts of water is concerned, the permutate process is used. Permutate process क्या है? Permutate is an artificial zeolite. Chemically, it is hydrated sodium aluminium orthosilicate having formula Na2Al2Si2O8 For the sake of convenience, let us give the formula Na2P. Okay, इसका नाम है सोडियम एल्यूमिनियम ऑर्थोसिलिकेट. ठीक है, तो ये सोडियम, इसका क्या काम है? A tall cylinder is loosely fitted with lumps of permutate. Permutate is your artificial zeolite, and chemically zeolite क्या होता है? एक बार let's look it up. Zeolite. Okay, looks interesting. Zeolites are crystalline solid structures made of silicon, ऐसे वेब जैसे दिखते हैं, aluminium and oxygen, that forms a framework with cavities and channels inside where cations, water, and or small molecules may reside. They are also referred to as molecular sieves. सीव होती है ना, जिसमें से किसी भी चीज़ को हम लोग सेपरेट करते हैं, फिल्टर करते हैं, लार्जर और स्मॉलर मॉलिक्यूल्स को, तो वैसी सीव्स है, ये लेयर है, मतलब क्या बोलेंगे इसको, सीव का एस आई ई वी ई सिनोनिम, सीव का सिनोनिम क्या होता है, स्ट्रेनर, स्ट्रेनर जो होता है ना, सीव या स्ट्रेनर, हाँ ये सीव है, ये एक मिनट, ये सीव है, ठीक है। तो ऐसा जो नेचुरल सीव होता है, नेचुरल सीव होता है जो चीज़ों को ऐसे फिल्टर आउट करता है, वो है ये, आई एम सॉरी, आर्टिफिशियल जो सीव होता है उसको बोलते हैं जियोलाइट, और वो है तुम्हारा, एक्चुअली जियोलाइट इज अ नेचुरल सीव, बट आर्टिफिशियल जियोलाइट हम बना सकते हैं विथ सोडियम एल्यूमिनियम ऑर्थोसिलिकेट, जो फिल्टर करता है बेसिकली हार्डनेस को या insoluble salts को या soluble salts को. A tall cylinder is loosely fitted with lumps of permutate. When hard water containing calcium and magnesium ions percolates मतलब उसके थ्रू जब गुजरता है, through these lumps exchange of ions takes place. The sodium permutate is slowly changed into calcium and magnesium permutate, and with the removal of calcium and magnesium ions the water becomes soft. When no longer active, the permutate is regenerated by running a concentrated solution of brine over it. Brine matlab salt solution, and removing the calcium chloride formed by repeated washing. ठीक है, मतलब ये जो तुम्हारा परम्यूटेट है दैट इज Na2P और सोडियम एल्यूमिनियम ऑर्थो, क्या है, सोडियम एल्यूमिनियम ऑर्थोसिलिकेट, ठीक है। उसमें से जब हार्ड वाटर पास करते हैं तो ये परम्यूटेट या सोडियम एल्यूमिनियम ऑर्थोसिलिकेट गेट्स कन्वर्टेड इनटू कैल्शियम और मैग्नीशियम परम्यूटेट, and the water which is out which comes out from the outlet, it is a soft water automatically. Very nice way of softening the water. Softening hard water using ion exchange resins. For laundries and boilers, water softened by the permutate process is quite satisfactory. For scientific purpose, even the presence of positive sodium ion and negative bicarbonate and sulfate ions is not desirable. To remove these ions, water is passed through synthetically prepared cation and anion exchange resins one by one. The sodium ions are replaced by hydrogen ions, and hydrogen carbonate and sulfate ions by hydroxyl ions, and the water gets completely deionized. So लॉन्ड्रीज और बॉयलर्स के लिए तो ये परम्यूटेट प्रोसेस यूज होता है, लेकिन साइंटिफिक पर्पसेस के लिए जो हार्ड वाटर को सॉफ्ट वाटर बनाना है, इसलिए आयंस के एक्सचेंज किए जाते हैं एक पर्टिकुलर मेथड से, जहाँ पे सल्फेट और हाइड्रोजन कार्बोनेट के आयंस को हाइड्रोजन और हाइड्रोक्सिल आयन से रिप्लेस किया जाता है, एंड द वाटर बिकम सॉफ्ट. सो एक्सरसाइज 3C जो बहुत छोटा सा है, कुछ ज़्यादा नहीं है इसमें, खैर. So this I'm going to give you as homework. This part is finished. The chapter is finished. We have completed this interesting part and solved the doubts of the previous part also. So इतना ज़्यादा बड़ा exercise नहीं, I'm going to give it. And we have completed 3 chapters of chemistry, so I no longer want to go on with chemistry or you guys will get really bored. So now my idea is to begin with mathematics, that is congruency, and I'm going to upload the video very soon. Till then, please finish this homework and see you in the next class. Bye bye.